If you keep leaving conversations more confused than when they started, please listen carefully, because confusion is not always accident. Sometimes confusion is the environment a manipulative person creates so you stop trusting your own reality. You try to explain what hurt you, and somehow the conversation turns against you. You say that was disrespectful, and they say you are too sensitive. You say that's not what happened, and they say you always twist things. You say you hurt me, and suddenly you are defending your tone, your memory, your attitude, your reaction, your timing, your face, your words. And by the end of the conversation, the original issue has disappeared. Now you are apologizing. Now you are over explaining. Now you are trying to prove that you are not crazy. Now you are wondering, did I say it wrong? Did I misunderstand? Am I the problem? That is not communication. That is distortion. And many women have lived inside this for so long that confusion starts feeling normal. They twist your words. They alter your truth. They change the sequence of events. They deny what they say. They minimize what they did. They exaggerate your reaction. They refuse responsibility for their rude, cruel, dismissive, or disrespectful behavior. And when you try to hold them accountable, they do not become humble. They become defensive. They become angry. They become cold, dramatic. They become the victim. And then, just when you are almost ready to step back, they give you a small moment of affection, a kind word, a compliment, a soft apology, a little tenderness, a memory of who you thought they were. And suddenly, you are confused again, because now you think maybe they do care. Maybe it was not that bad. Maybe they were just stressed. Maybe I should give them another chance. Maybe this is the real them. But listen to me carefully. A brief moment of affection does not erase a pattern of emotional harm. A soft moment does not cancel repeated disrespect. A nice day does not repair months of confusion. And an apology without responsibility is not repair. It is often just a reset button. That is how the cycle keeps moving. Rage, confusion, denial, blame shifting, coldness, then affection, then hope, then the same pattern again. And your nervous system starts living on edge. You begin monitoring your mood. You begin choosing your words carefully. You begin preparing for reactions. You begin apologizing before you even know what you did wrong. You begin shrinking your truth to avoid another explosion. You begin feeling relief when they are kind instead of peace because they are safe. That difference matters. Relief is not safety. Relief is what you feel when the threat pauses. Safety is what you feel when there are no threats to begin with. And if you are only peaceful when they are in a good mood, that is not peace. That is emotional surveillance. You are not living in connection. You are living in prediction, trying to predict the next shift, the next rage, the next accusation, the next withdrawal, the next moment where reality will be rearranged and you will be expected to accept the new version. And this is where the toll becomes deeper, because this kind of dynamic does not only hurt your feelings, it attacks your mind. It makes you doubt your memory. It makes you distrust your perception. It makes you feel unstable. It makes you ask other people, am I overreacting? It makes you collect evidence just to believe your own experience. It makes you feel like you need a witness to your pain before your pain is allowed to be real. That is not love. That is psychological erosion. And the reason it is so dangerous is because it happens gradually. At first, you argue back, then you explain, then you soften, then you apologize, then you stop bringing things up, then you start carrying the pain quietly, then you start accepting behavior you once would have rejected immediately, not because you are weak, because you have been worn down. There is a difference. You did not become confused because you lack intelligence. You became confused because someone kept interfering with your ability to name reality. You did not become anxious because you are dramatic. You became anxious because unpredictability teaches the body to stay alert. You did not become silent because you had nothing to say. You became silent because speaking kept costing you too much. And maybe this is the part you need to hear. If someone keeps twisting your words, refusing responsibility, punishing your honesty, raging when confronted, and then using affection to pull you back into the cycle, you do not need to keep asking what is happening. The pattern is happening, and the pattern is the answer. Stop separating affection from the harm as if they are two different people. They are part of the same cycle. The sweetness is not proof that the cruelty is not real. The cruelty is proof that the sweetness is not enough. Because healthy love does not require you to live confused. Healthy love does not make you afraid of telling the truth. Healthy love does not keep rewiring reality until you no longer trust your own mind. Healthy love does not swing between rage and tenderness so often that your body becomes addicted to relief. Healthy love does not make accountability feel like war. So, if you are constantly off balance, pay attention. If you are always trying to understand why their behavior keeps changing, pay attention. If you feel like every conversation becomes a maze, pay attention. If you feel foggier, more anxious, more careful, more apologetic, and less yourself, pay attention. Your well-being is speaking. Your body is speaking. Your spirit is speaking. And maybe the message is not try harder to understand them. Maybe the message is protect yourself before it takes more from you. Because some dynamics do not need deeper explanation. They need distance. Some patterns do not need one more conversation. They need consequences. Some people do not need more access to your heart. They need to be removed from the place where they keep damaging it. And I know walking away can feel frightening, especially when there are memories, especially when there is affection, especially when there is history, especially when part of you still hopes the kind version will finally become permanent. But you cannot build your life around someone's occasional tenderness while ignoring their constant harm. You cannot keep feeding your hope with moments and starving your reality of truth. You cannot keep choosing the version of them that appears briefly while surviving the version of them that keeps returning. That is not discernment. That is attachment fighting truth. So let truth speak clearly. If they twist your words, that matters. If they distort reality, that matters. If they refuse responsibility, that matters. If they rage and then become affectionate just enough to keep you hoping, that matters. If you are constantly confused, anxious, off balance, that matters. And if staying is costing you your peace, your clarity, your confidence, your health, and your relationship with yourself, then walking away may not be cruelty. It may be wisdom. You are not crazy for feeling unsettled. You are not weak because the cycle affected you. You are not wrong because you need distance from someone who keeps injuring your reality. You are not unloving because you refuse to keep living under emotional confusion. You are learning to recognize what peace does not feel like, and that recognition can save your life. This is Redefine Your Narrative. And maybe the narrative you need to redefine is this. If someone has to keep distorting reality to keep access to me, then losing access to me may be the truth they finally need to face. God bless you.